Hey guys, this video serves as an introduction to Chapter 6, and we'll get you started on the first few exercises in Chapter 6. As you can tell, I'm recording this during a band class, and evidently there's a flute sectional going on behind me. But anyway, we'll start with the first idea in this chapter. This is dealing with major scales and keys. So if we scroll down into our chapter material here, you can see in a lot of chapters that there's this box that says the key concept. And in that, you'll find information that you need to know as far as vocabulary and so forth. So it defines a scale as an ordered collection of pitches. And if we put them in a specific order without repeating any of the notes between an octave, we'll end up with a scale. And the notes of the scales can be separated by whole and half steps. And how those are arranged will give us the type of scale we're using. So in the first example here, we have a melody by John Philip Sousa, The Stars and Stripes Are Ever. Let's take a listen to that. I think there'll be a little bit of an echo, but we'll see what happens. All right. You can start on an E flat, da 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 dum bum 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 bum. Here you can see we skipped some notes, but these notes do make up parts of a scale, and there are the pitches in that melody. Moving ahead, we have another example here. This using the notes in B flat, E flat, A flat accidentals. Let's take a listen to this. Very lovely. And here we can see the pitches of this melody, and that forms this type of scale. So let's go back and look at this one. We can see in between this bracket here, we've got some extra notes from this scale. And that brings us to a particular type of scale, which is called a chromatic scale. Now, chromatic scale is a progression of half steps up to the next octave. So you're going to get essentially 12 notes, and then you'll get the last note repeated. Here's an example of a chromatic scale starting on E flat. Okay, so essentially playing every single note on the piano. Here's one on D. Right? So if you notice these two scales, if it begins on a flat note, we'll use an accidental for the next note, because an accidental will raise a flat by a half step, and that's what we want to do. If it begins on a note that is not a flat, we'll use a sharp as the next note, unless it's like E to F. So here we went D, D sharp, etc. Since flats lower notes by half steps, we'll use those on the way down. As you can see, we have D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E, E flat, D. And that is your chromatic scale. Okay. Now the opposite of a chromatic scale, where everything is in half steps, we have what's known as a whole tone scale right there. And the whole tone scale moves from one note to the other by whole steps. And as you can see here, E flat to F is a whole step, F to G is a whole step, G to A is a whole step, A to B is a whole step, B to C sharp is a whole step. Put D flat there because C sharp and D flat are inharmonic. And then E flat at the top, D flat to E flat, a whole step. We did that because we started on E flat and we want to end on the same E flat. So triad number 1 is in your module for completion, so we won't look at that here. There's a separate video for that. Let's look very quickly at the creation of major scales. When we looked at the Ash Grove melody, we saw that it was based on progression of pitches from E flat, F, G, A flat, B flat, C, D, E flat. And that is an E flat major scale. And if we look at how these notes progress, we'll see that E flat to F is a whole step, F to G is a whole step, G to A flat's a half step, A flat to B flat a whole step, B flat to C a whole step, C to D a whole step, D to E flat a half step. So every single major scale is going to have the progression of whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. And that forms your major scale. Okay. Since it began on an E flat and has that progression of wholes and halves, this is called an E flat major scale. All right, here we can see the E flat major scale constructed in treble clef. Progression of whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half, and that sounds like this. Okay, so each note of the scale is called a scale degree. So the first note of the scale is the first scale degree. Second note is the second scale degree. Third note is the third scale degree. Fourth scale degree, fifth scale degree, sixth scale degree, seventh scale degree. And then we're back at the first scale degree, which is just an octave higher. And those are usually represented with a number with a caret above it. You can see that right here from 1 to 7. Okay, if we take a melody and write it on a different pitch, but still use the same progression of scale degrees, this is what's known as transposing the melody to a different key. Okay. Some of you may have studied solfege in choir and so forth. There's also solfege associated with those. First scale degree in the movable do system is do, re is 2, mi is 3, fa is 4, sol is 5, 6 is la, 7 is ti, and we're back to the first scale degree, which is do. If you look at Twinkle Twinkle Little Star here, we can see the scale degrees 1 1 5 5 6 6 5 4 4 3 3 2 2 1. You can do the solfege do do sol sol la la sol fa fa mi mi re re do. Right here it is transposed. Same progression of 1 1 5 5 6 6 5 4 4 3 3 2 2 1. But now we're starting on F instead of C. So here is Twinkle Twinkle Little Star transposed to F major. All right. Scale degrees also have names based on their location within the scale. The first scale degree is called the tonic, and this is very important vocabulary for you to know. Tonic is the first note. One above tonic is supertonic. A third above tonic, the third scale degree, is the mediant. A fourth above tonic is the subdominant, and that's called subdominant because the fifth scale degree is called the dominant. So the fourth is one below dominant, subdominant. Now this one is confusing. Submediant. Mediant is a third above, but if you look at A and put it down below the tonic, it would be a third below the tonic, so it's called submediant. And the seventh scale degree brings us back to the tonic, brings us back to do, like in the song from The Sound of Music. So here's the leading tone, bringing us back to tonic. So those are the names of the scale degrees: tonic, supertonic, mediant, subdominant, dominant, submediant,